And with all of us worried about our physical health, it can be easy to forget the toll that this can all take on your mental health. We're all joined now with a little motivation on this Monday morning. Some ways to de-stress and be mindful. Co-founder of Headspace, Andy Puddicombe joins us. Andy, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for your time this morning. I've said in the past, I'm a huge fan of your app, not a paid spokesperson, but folks who are not familiar with mindfulness, how can it be helpful in times like these?
Yeah, morning, guys. So I think the anchor for this entire bit is that mindfulness doesn't necessarily change what's going on around us, but it does change our relationship to it. It changes our experience of it. It helps us to be more present, less likely to get caught up in a lot of the internal chatter, and less likely to get overwhelmed by emotion. So a great way of just sort of anchoring the mind, grounding the mind when we're feeling out of control, like so many of us are right now.
I understand that Governor Cuomo reached out to you recently with a specific request for New Yorkers. What did he want?
Yeah, so I think, look, heartbreaking to see the scale and the stories that are coming out of New York right now. And it's one of many government state agencies that we're chatting to, but we wanted to do something specific. He wanted to do something specific for the people of New York. So today we're launching New York State of Mind, a sort of a specific curated collection of content, whether you're feeling, if you're in your with stress, with anxiety, if you're struggling with your sleep, if you have kids at home who you think could benefit from some mindfulness exercise, even if you want to apply mindfulness to some movement and get active at home, there's something there for everyone.
Al?
Yeah, Andy, for people who've never done this before, I mean, I've done it, and one of the things I find, I have to work, my mind wanders and then picks up on other thoughts. How do you make sure you're doing this right?
So I think that's it's interesting, for me, that's one of the biggest sort of misconceptions perhaps of mindfulness, is that we somehow have to do something right, that we perhaps even have to stop the thoughts in our mind. And the truth is we don't. The idea of meditation is to sit and get comfortable with our mind as it is. So sometimes that means the mind is very busy and we're getting comfortable watching thoughts coming and going quite quickly. Sometimes it means the mind is quite quiet. Over time, as we get better at this, just watching thoughts coming and going, not getting involved in the thoughts, the mind naturally starts to settle down. So in many ways, it's pressure off. There's no right or wrong here. It's just to begin with, we get distracted a lot. And over time, the more we practice, the less distracted we become.
And Andy, there are a lot of people watching who are multitasking with careers and their jobs and then kids downstairs, with school. What's the minimal amount of time you can devote to this and really see results to ultimately ease the stress in your home?
Yeah, so we've all had kids bust in on our interviews and everything else over the last few weeks. I think the interesting thing with meditation is that it's not about the duration. In fact, a lot of the science suggests that it's more about frequency than duration. In the Weathering the Storm content that you'll find on that New York State of Mind, you'll find exercises as short as 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. We know that actually very short periods of time can make a very real difference in reducing the amount of stress that we might feel.
Andy, we don't have a lot of time, but we would like to introduce folks who are watching and listening to the concept. So maybe if you could spend just 45 seconds walking us through a mindfulness exercise.
I'd be happy to. And I'm going to choose one here that I think so many of us are separated from the people that we care about right now. So the thing I'd like you to do is just get comfortable. Take one big deep breath, breathing in through your nose. And as you breathe out through the mouth, if you'd like to, you can just gently close your eyes. And I'd like you to picture a person that you really care about. And I'd like you to imagine them sitting somewhere, they'd be happy, they'd be relaxed. And with every out breath that you experience, you don't have to breathe in any special way. I'd like you to picture that person looking increasingly relaxed, looking increasingly happy. Maybe you start to see a smile on their face. Maybe even you start to see them laugh a little bit. So we're focused on our own breath, that rising and falling sensation. But with each out breath, we're seeing that person we care about looking increasingly happy and relaxed, increasingly at ease. So a great way of bringing a greater sense of calm to our own body and mind, and at the same time staying connected with the people we love, the people we care about.
Andy, thank you. Andy Puddicombe, thank you. Al,
I feel better already.
Al, Chanel, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Programming note here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this morning at 11 on MSNBC, I'll be reporting from the front lines of this crisis. For the next 2 weeks, I'll bring you a firsthand look at the fight on the ground here in New York City, starting today from the Field Hospital in Central Park.